Alright guys, I'm restarting the streams. Hold on. Alright, I just restarted the stream. Not sure what happened there. Let's try this again. I'm not sure what happened, guys, but the stream just ended. Alright, so I don't know what just happened, guys, but it just booted me off of the stream. So I'm restarting here. I'm not really sure what just happened. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. I don't know. I don't know what happened, to be honest with you. It just booted me off the stream, and so we'll restart Tesla though, because I think we got cut off here as we tried to do Tesla. So I'm gonna give it just like 5 seconds here, and then we'll go from there. TJ says, what's my account size? I have multiple different accounts, TJ, and it varies, but I always take withdrawals. So I want to get back into Tesla though quickly, because I realized that it probably cut out as I was doing Tesla. So Tesla here, as you can see, has really just been consolidating. We got our strongest daily close in over, pretty much 2 months here. And so now realistically the short-term target should be around like 360, and then realistically above that, once that 365 breaks, it's a pretty clear shot for 400, right? So definitely one that's going to be on the radar. So I'm going to say Tesla, huge consolidation. I mean, again, you can call these all these different patterns, but at the end of the day, it's really just consolidation and range. Tesla, huge consolidation. I would say strongest daily close since June. Above last week high, kind of long to 360. And then I would say over 360 sends to 400 on a swing. So this is a really good looking chart. Obviously a lot of eyes on it, but let's keep going, guys. Drop any tickers you want me to cover, guys, in the chats. Any tickers you want me to cover in the chats down below. I'm gonna read through the chats. I know we had some people on the last stream ask for stuff, but that's unfortunately lost now. So we'll cover Tesla. We'll do four, which is shift 4 payments. So we had a daily downtrend, we had a weekly downtrend, the monthly's in an uptrend. So for me, this is a pretty simple chart. Whenever you see something like this, I don't want to short it, but I'm also not going to long it until the daily flips back into an uptrend, right? Daily flip back into an uptrend, I'll take that. Then we got app. So this one here, I was long 3 different times. I took an entry initially here, and then my third entry ended up being a loss. And now, I mean, obviously it had a deep retracement. Now that retracement's holding. Where did it bounce off of? That weekly 8 EMA. We did set up that daily buy setup, so now it looks pretty strong. I mean, everything's kind of in alignment here. So because we kind of have everything in alignment, all we gotta do is just wait for confirmation, right? So I'll say for this one, we do have a little bit of resistance ahead, right? But realistically, crack of last week high, we can long. Then the targets are 473s from there, and then really like up to 500 plus. So it's definitely a good looking chart. A little bit expensive of a ticker to trade with options, but so I'm gonna say app, daily buy setup, weekly 8 EMA tag, over last week high can long, small res at 450. Above that, I would say 473 and 500 targets, guys. And it really is that open. So if you look right here, obviously it's the daily chart. You scroll back, we really have nothing. Like this is the previous all-time high. Price really has not traded through here much. So, all right, you got it, no problem. All right, next up, I'm just going through the list, guys. So I see someone here going wanted to do PDD. But the thing is with PDD, they have earnings, right? So this is one that if you guys know me, I'm very bullish on. But again, earnings can be anything, right? This thing, if you look, if you eliminate all levels, all everything, right? This thing has really just been range bound. Big range between like 90 and like 150 for like 2.5 years now, or 2 years. So, at some point this should break. In my opinion, I think it's going to happen now. Again, I could be wrong. Simply why? Because we had the fake monthly breakdown. It could have broken down, it could have flipped down, it never ended up doing that. We're back in an uptrend here, and so again, earnings are going to be very dependent on this name's success here, but we shall see. Scrolling back for Google. On TikTok, guys, do me a favor, double tap that screen, like the stream. Let's see if we can get to 2K likes. So Google is very simple, guys. Whenever a name's at the all-time highs, all you got to do is just buy the higher time frame EMA dips. There's not some secret strategy. So, you know, I wish I could give you more, but if someone's asking me about a ticker at all-time high, you know, it's at all-time high, so it means it's strong, right? SoFi and then Affirm. SoFi here. Also, this is a really good-looking chart as well. We're breaking last month highs, which is what I wanted to see. We're pretty much clear. I mean, we haven't traded these levels in a really long time, you know, so we're kind of trying to break over this $25 area for the first time. So realistically, we're kind of trying to head back to that previous all-time high, which I think is probably likely for SoFi. So I would just say, you know, clear hold over 25, send it back to the all-time high. It's pretty simple in there. SoFi back at huge multi-year resistance. I would say confirmation over 25. Sends back to all-time high. Very simple. And so one thing I will say, guys, with SoFi here is it's very important, you know, how we kind of do this. So you kind of have this test up here, right? This test up here, right? So this was in 2021. Obviously, I haven't tested that since 2021. It's been a long, long time. But it's important how we get there, right? So this is a very strong candle close. That was a very strong candle close. Where here, obviously, we had rejections. So this is definitely enticing for sure. Baba, another one here that we have earnings on. Akbar, thank you for the gifts. Appreciate that. I'll go over you after as well. If you're not already following, guys, on TikTok, please do me a favor, double tap that screen, drop me a follow as well. Really appreciate that. So I talked about a potential trade idea here last week on stream in the Discord. I ended up not taking it because I took a different ticker, which I'm going to cover as well. But this gap up here and the strong kind of close here, and so I'll just kind of talk through the thesis there, right? One, I was playing this off of the HSI. The HSI, for those that don't know what it is, it's the Hang Seng Index. The Hang Seng Index is basically the S&P 500 for China. And so we were having nice consolidation there. Yep, I'll show you this one. This one's better. We were having nice consolidation here back to the daily EMAs, and I was figuring that we were going to get some type of pop. Because of that, I was anticipating further breakout. Obviously, the entire market went up, but in particular, I was looking for China. And I knew, based on the premiums, that if Baba did get a gap up, which is what I was hoping for, this would kind of be the shakeout under last week lows, off of last week low EMAs as well. And that, most importantly, is that my thesis was it was going to have a strong move going into earnings. I'm bullish personally through earnings, so I was going to anticipate a strong weekly candle close, which is what we got, nearly at the highs of the week. So those contracts paid over 1,000% on those one day to expiration, 120 calls. But point being now is we have earnings coming up, so anything can happen. But for me personally, I am going to be bullish lean holding through earnings, and again, if that fails, it fails. Initially, I took a pre-earnings swing on Baba up around here, around 119s. I sold a good chunk off when we got that gap up. Those were over 100% at that point. I had a couple runners, which I did stop at even, and then I rolled those to a different contract, which now I'm basically playing with profits, excuse me, through earnings. So it's kind of funny to say that. This one here, daily uptrend, weekly uptrend, monthly uptrend. You know, this one looks good. We're just trying to break out of this kind of like multi-year consolidation, kind of a hot theme going on right now. So I would say confirmation above like $11 could be good. Sometimes a slower mover, so you want to maybe see that expanded daily range first, right? We'll go Affirm, then we'll go Rocket Lab. I'm getting through all the lists here, guys. So this one here is earnings this week. Definitely a very, very strong chart, and in my opinion, one that is poised to go. However, we have earnings this week, so that's going to be kind of the tricky thing. If you want to kind of place your bets before earnings or not. But good looking chart nonetheless. Rocket Lab. This one also has just been kind of consolidating back down to the weekly EMAs, monthly inside bar. I kind of mentioned the possibility of the monthly inside bar, but now at this point we do have 4 days left before that closes. And it does have room back to the last month high. So now once the daily flips back into an uptrend, this is definitely one to keep on watch. Absolutely one to keep on watch. Philip, thank you for the follow on TikTok. Appreciate that. All right, so I'm just going through the list. Affirm, Rocket Lab, PDD, Baba, we did that. What up, Snipe? Zaxxed Beast, appreciate that, Casey. So I'm just reading the chat now. It's just catching up. NVIDIA, we have earnings this week for NVIDIA, so it's same deal. Again, to kind of pick your poison. you want to hold the earnings or not. Duolingo. This is one that I don't personally want to touch. I think it also says a lot about just overall sentiment. Again, maybe it goes up, maybe it goes down, but for me, I just have to play kind of what the chart's telling me. And as of now, we have a nasty weekly and monthly topping tail. And so this name still has 4 days to salvage itself, so maybe it does want to do that. But I would personally wait for the monthly close because, again, we have this really nasty weekly topping tail. Also, again, things can change, right? But the fact that this name was red on Friday as the market pumped, that's definitely not something you want to see if you're going to look long. And then this is not something I do want to short at all. So PayPal and Path. PayPal here, definitely not one that I love as well. Daily downtrend, weekly downtrend, monthly downtrend. I'm not going to short this name, but I'm definitely not going to long it. Path, this one is earnings next week, not this upcoming week, the following. So we have daily downtrend, weekly downtrend, monthly. So again, another one I'm not going to short, but I'm not going to long, all right? PLTR. This one I think now is in a conflicting spot. In my opinion, like the short could have happened. If you were going to take the short, it could have happened with a daily close under the 8 EMA. Obviously, it had some accelerated selling due to the market as well. But in my opinion, I think the short-term short and I think the short-term long kind of has played out. I wouldn't be surprised to see some more consolidation, maybe kind of in this region here. Consolidate in this region a bit more here. The daily's now to a downtrend, so I want to see it back into an uptrend, right? MSTR. So MSTR here, this one's been kind of funky. The fact that Bitcoin was rallying and MSTR just continually sold off. I took 2 different trades in this. One here was a long, one here was a long, and this was a good winner, this was a loser. I was looking for the expansion here, which in theory it should have gotten. And again, everything kind of tells you a story, right? Where we should have probably went higher here, and the fact that we didn't, now you can see now we're getting extended selling, right? So now we're retracing deeper, right? We're under the weekly EMAs. We just retested the monthly EMAs. And so kind of this week's key. If we do get a weekly buy setup back over 375s and the daily flips back to the upside, then I would consider some longs in there. I would consider that for sure. Next up, coin. Again, I'm just trying to do this rapid fire, guys. Trying to get to everybody here, right? So I'm doing my best. All I heard was the panic sell. Covered shop. Oh, actually, no, we covered Affirm, not shop. We'll do that one. But this is also daily downtrend, weekly's hanging out, monthly stronger. So for me, Coinbase is definitely stronger than MSTR. Probably flips the upside first. So I'd probably go there. Still don't love it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. So this one's not bad, right? This one's definitely not bad. It's curling back at that daily 20 EMA here. And so we do have room back to the upside here. You know, this is kind of that my bread and butter setup, or I should say one of my bread and butter setups, which is called, you know, they're called a peg, a post earnings gap. And what you want to see is some type of gap up or gap down, and then some type of retracement to the daily EMAs. That's what I like to see. So this one retraced back down to the daily 20 EMA, setting a buy setup here. So basically above kind of last week high, we can look for longs, or at least Friday high, we can look for longs for sure. Definitely don't mind this one at all. So shop, daily buy setup at daily 20 EMA, also weekly 8 EMA bounce. Above Friday high can long. From there, small res at 145. Over that, we got room to 150, 151-ish. Excuse me, guys. I already covered Google Senti. I already covered that one. It's at all-time highs, you know, so there's really not much for me to tell you. It's all-time highs. So user, thank you for the follow as well on TikTok. When you're at all-time highs, guys, just got to buy the higher time frame EMA dips, right? There's levels going on Discord. What does that mean? Pandora. Oh, these levels. Yeah, anything that I post that I think is A+ will be in the Discord. Obviously, I go through tickers that I don't maybe think are A+. I don't put those. MU. So this one, again, is a bit tricky. We did break last month high, but faded. And now the weekly is shaping up to be a little funky, where we do have this higher low, but we do now have a lower high. So this may need to consolidate a bit more. So I don't dislike this one, but I don't love it. All right, this thing went on a pretty crazy run if you look. You know, from those lows down here in April, you know, it went from around $65 to almost, you know, almost 130. So it basically doubled in a couple months. It may make sense to kind of consolidate for a bit longer. Roblox. Guys, we're at 1.4K likes on TikTok. If you can get me to 2K, guys, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, guys. I try to hop on here for free. Obviously, if you guys want to join the Discord, link is in the bio, and you can use code Zach for a discount. But, you know, at the very least, I appreciate the support. Roblox here, it's a bit funky, right? We had this kind of big gap in crap from earnings, retracing too deep now. Weekly's trying to kind of hang in here. It's a monthly inside bar, which most likely will continue to be a monthly inside bar. So you could say maybe a weekly 1, 2, 3 to the upside above 121, but the daily's in a downtrend. So also in theory, you could say under 111, it actually could be a short back down to 100 potentially. So it can go either way. You know, we were pretty tight last week, but it's also not ideal the fact that we did pump, and again, Roblox didn't. Yeah. Appreciate the gifts on TikTok, guys. And again, if you're not already following, double tap that screen. Drop me a follow. Really appreciate that. Thanks for covering all these tickers. You got it. No problem. VST Snow. I'm just trying to catch up to the chat, guys. Sorry about that. I'm going as fast as I can while still trying to, you know, really do them as thorough as I can, right? VST here, daily downtrend. Weekly's looking a bit blah. Monthly swept the previous highs and faded. So it's definitely not what you want to see. Especially now it's underneath this earnings low. So this is definitely one that I don't love. I wouldn't short it, but I wouldn't long it just yet here, personally. Snow, this one was one that was actually really shaping up to be a big mover here after breaking out monthly flip. We did actually capture a couple nice plays in here. I was thinking, though, that this monthly would kind of set up a monthly 1, 2, 3 to the upside, but it wanted to retrace first. We do have earnings here coming up on Wednesday. I'm kind of thinking that this could actually have a really nice move post earnings and just bounce off that monthly 8 EMA and then set up really strong for the next kind of fall period. So just covered VST. I just covered VST, but Snow is kind of a wait and see thing, right? Covered that one, guys. So Disney, again, I'm doing them as fast as I can, guys, fast as I can. So Disney and then ASTS. So the daily has not yet flipped. Weekly's good. Monthly just retested that monthly 8. So this one's simple. I would say wait for, you know, the next day or two. Allow the daily to flip back into the upside, and then we can go from there. ASTS daily downtrend. Weekly's trying to tag that 20. Monthly actually swept last month low. So for this one, I actually prefer Rocket Lab better. I think Rocket Lab over ASTS here, but kind of same idea. Flip it back into a daily uptrend. Okay. DDOG, daily downtrend, weekly inside bar, monthly. So this is kind of another one of those that, you know, if you look at this monthly chart, you know, could be putting in a potential lower high on the big picture. Daily's in a downtrend, weekly's kind of funky inside bar. So like, yes, we could get an upside move, but it's not my favorite. You know, and one thing that I'm going to be doing, and I have been doing more, we've been getting more quality setups. However, I'm really trying to limit my trades that I take and really only focus on those A+++ setups. If I don't like it, like even a little bit, I'm gonna pass. If I'm gonna lose, right? Because I'm gonna lose on trades to begin with, and so if I'm gonna lose, I want it to be in a high conviction trades, right? PLTR already covered that one. AVGO, and then I'll do Crowd after. So AVGO earnings not this week, the next. Daily's kind of in a funky spot. Weekly retest, monthly topping tail. This one's pretty simple for me because the daily's kind of in a conflicted spot. Wait for this daily to either trigger down or trigger up. Wait for the weekly to close. So this one's probably being no trade for me this entire week, but could be setting up. Then Crowd. Crowd has earnings this week, so you know the weekly's a bit in jeopardy, as is the monthly. So you know I would say just wait for that earnings. Wait for that earnings to come out. I think it's not correct. What do you mean, Bogdan? I don't know what you mean by that, Bogdan. Hut. This one looks solid. I would just say wait for a break over this previous high. Sometimes it's not a big mover, but above this previous high should be good for longs. Not bad. BMNR. I've been watching this one. I've been just waiting for some type of buy setup, right? I think it's here. Personally, I think it is here. Nice daily buy setup now. Kind of trying to trigger here. So I would say above like last week high, above Friday high, whatever you want to call it. Look for longs. And you know, it has room. I mean, it did just make a pretty big impulsive move recently. So if you look, it went from around $30 to about $70. But so for me, I would say above like $55, $56, up towards that 62. And then we got room above that up to like 69 basically. So I'm gonna say BMNR, weekly 8 retest, buy setup forming off daily EMAs, above 55, above 55 to 56 can long. From there, targeting 62 and 69. Pretty clean in there. Tesla, we already covered Tesla. What do I think about Shop? Okay, I covered Shop. What market is this? Also, guys, I just see someone saying, what market is this? I have a new feature. I don't know if you guys saw it, but now you can tell at all times what ticker I'm trading and what time frame I'm on in the background here. At all times, it'll show that, okay? NVIDIA earnings will move the overall market? Probably. Any course from scratch for beginners? I don't know any free courses that are good. I post a lot of free content on like social media, so you can try to take bits and pieces. That's what I always tell people, just try to take bits and pieces of things. Thoughts on quantum computing stocks? I don't really have an overall thought on them in particular. Everything I do is just based off technicals, so if certain ones look good, they look good. If they look bad, they look bad. All right, covered Shop, covered Tesla, cool. So I think we covered everything. Let's see if I'm missing any. Someone said DKNG. All right, cool. So we got to DKNG, and then now we're all caught up. So this one looks solid. I would say above 48 is the long, and then above there we really have a lot of room to the upside. Above 48 you can long, targeting 50 and then like 54 realistically. DKNG over 48 can long. From there, looking at big targets, small pivots in the way, 50 and 55 targets. Take any more trades tonight? Probably not. Meta. But guys, for those on stream, I'm going to be streaming futures and be focusing more on futures in September. That's kind of my goal. I've been not really doing my best trading futures recently, and I think it's very hard personally to trade futures and options at the same time at a high level. I know some people, for example, will trade QQQ and then trade NQ. That's the same thing. But if I'm over here trading, BABA and Futu and TTD and Tesla and then trading NQ or ES, it's there's a lot of different things going on, right? You got it, Marky. So we got Meta here. The daily is kind of under the EMA, so it needs some work. The weekly just retested. The monthly as of now looks like a doji, so I would say this is kind of a wait and see. I don't love it, don't hate it. TLN, Talent Energy. Weekly's trying to retest. Monthly's a little bit of a topping tail at all-time highs, which is not really what you want to see. So I'd say allow this thing to get back over the daily EMAs, and that can be a long from there. I already covered Shop, Prom. The Shop analysis is in the Discord. That is one that I do like. So make sure you check out that charting channel in the Discord. The analysis is posted in there. If you guys on TikTok and not already follow me, please do me a favor, double tap that screen and drop me a follow. Really, really appreciate that. Thank you guys for all the support. So one ticker that is on my watch now is Nebis. I took a trade in this ticker last week. However, it failed. And I always say even the best setups fail. And, for me, like I said, I want to lose on my best setups, because I know if I'm losing on my best setups and I'm not kind of jeopardizing the integrity or the quality of the setups, it's just a matter of time. So now we did get a deeper retrace. This peg is still valid, bounced off the weekly EMAs. So I really do like this now above this kind of $69 area, really back up towards 75, honestly, guys. So I would say Nebis failed last week, however, coiled back now off daily EMAs. Can retest weekly 8 via time over 69, looking for longs. 75 first big target still. Already covered Tesla as well. The Tesla analysis is also in the Discord, guys. The Tesla analysis is also in the Discord. Thank you guys for the gifts. Really appreciate that. Thank you guys. Jay Santiago and Timmy Twam. Thank you guys for the follows. Really appreciate that. On TikTok, Costco. So the daily actually is weak here. I'm not really sure why. Weekly's down. Oh, okay, that's it. Weekly downtrend. We did sweep last month high and fail as well. So this is kind of an ugly one for me. I'm not going to short, but again, I'm not going to long. Saw me at Rake's party. Great time. It was. It was. Not sure. I'm very bad with names and usernames. I'm not sure if you said hi, but if not, next time for sure. CHRD. Cord Energy. Daily's technically in a downtrend. Weekly's kind of consolidating. Monthly is in a downtrend. So I don't love this one here. The monthly's also an inside bar. It's trying to flip back up on the weekly. So this one's kind of a bit conflicted. I don't love it. Don't hate it though. ASML. So the daily's back in an uptrend now. Weekly is also still in an uptrend. Monthly's technically not flipped yet. So I'll say I'll wait for this monthly candle close just to be safe, just to be extra safe. Gold, I don't really trade gold too much personally, but this thing's really just been range bound. You know, there's no secret here. It's just been very, very range bound. This name arguably went on the most parabolic run that it like ever has recently, this last couple of years. So it would make sense to kind of consolidate for a good period of time. Next time, say hi for sure, bro. Absolutely. Costco, just covered that. IonQ. So we got a daily downtrend here. This is another one, too, that I've been mentioning. Is also just very range-bound. This thing went up over 100% from the April lows to these highs here. And so now, realistically, it's just in this big range, right? It's in a range between, like, 47 and 35. So let this thing just continue to be range-bound and, you know, for me, there's just better names, right? Maybe you want to play the range game, sure, but I think there's better setups out there, personally. Let me know, guys, if anyone else has any other tickets. Let me know, let me know. OKLO and CALX. I actually had shares in CALX. I sold for a small gain just because it's a very slow mover, but this thing's just continuing to chug higher. It's a very slow mover, but nonetheless, it's a strong stop. OKLO, technically it's a daily downtrend. Weekly's bouncing. Monthly's a bit funky. So I would say let this thing flip back into a daily uptrend, and then from there you can look for some longs. CRWV. CRWV is in a daily downtrend. The weekly's also, there's really no data to support it's in a downtrend, but it is in a downtrend. And then the monthly doesn't really have a lot of data as well, but monthly definitely doesn't look great. If I had to bet, I would say lower before higher. It is possible we can retrace all the way down to like 65 bucks, right? I'm not going to short this one, but I'm also not going to long it. I'm not going to short, not going to long. LRCX. Yeah, so all these chip names, guys, all the chip names you guys have been mentioning, LRCX, NVIDIA, ASML, most likely, all of them seem to be in similar spots where it's like in a trend shifting potential area, and most of them are just going to be relying on NVIDIA earnings, right? NVIDIA earnings are this week. It's going to most likely be a market mover, or at least a chip mover, and so I personally would just wait for that for all of these, right? COF, Capital One for shorts. I don't know about this one for shorts. We're in a daily uptrend, weekly uptrend, monthly uptrend. So I don't know about that for shorts. Toast is in a daily downtrend, weekly's uptrend, monthly's also uptrend, bouncing off the monthly 8. So I wouldn't short this one, but I also wouldn't long it. I wouldn't long it until the daily flips back to the upside. I already covered PLTR as well. Guys, double tap that screen, guys. Like the stream. We're at 3.2K likes. Really appreciate that. Let's see if we get to 4K, guys. See if we get to 4K likes. Puts on Celsius. I probably wouldn't do this myself. Maybe in the short term it could dip, sure, but in that case I would just rather wait for the dip. The weekly's very strong. The monthly just flipped back to the upside, and the daily's strong. Maybe a bit extended from the EMAs, but again, I would rather just wait rather than short this, personally. Cough calls, toe short, got you. Yeah, I probably wouldn't do toe short, but I could see the COF calls for sure. Definitely. So Tempest here. So we took a position in Tempest last week. I exited all my options, and I'm going to be looking for a new entry in the options. This thing could definitely just kind of stall out a bit more. It did fill the gap, and so now really we just kind of have all-time high. My guess is that it posts a daily inside bar on Monday, and then maybe we go from there. Right? So I definitely like this chart. Just wanted to keep on watch for sure. Excuse me. Tempest. Weekly is strong. Daily gap fill, likely an inside bar tomorrow. After that, push to all-time high continues. So this is definitely one that's going to be on swing watch every day moving forward, for sure, guys. Netflix here is in a daily downtrend. The daily's very tight. Wow, it's actually a quadruple daily inside bar, or I guess triple daily technically. So let's see, weekly, monthly. Yeah, so I don't love the weekly and the monthly, but definitely notable here with a triple inside daily bar. I don't love the weekly and the monthly, but the daily's notable, I would say. Netflix, daily notable here with triple inside bar. Weekly and monthly aren't my faves. Should get big moves soon. And we have that level of consolidation, right? Bull. This thing's just been a bit rangy as well. Right, just been a bit rangy as well. Monthly inside bar. So I would say wait for the end of the month. Wait for the end of the month, which is this week. Right. Cisco puts. Let's see. So we're really just kind of. It's not my favorite. I wouldn't short it, but I also wouldn't long it. It's another one of those where it's like the weekly and the monthly are in uptrends, the daily's in a downtrend. So I could see a short-term move, but I also this is not a trade. This is not a name I like to do much trading in anyway. It's a very slow mover. Is Z the same thing as ZG? I don't know. I usually just trade Z, but this is very strong. I like this one a lot. I've been talking about this one, especially if the Russell continues to be strong. Good looking chart here. Hood puts and then Adobe. Let's see. I don't really know about the Hood puts. Monthly still strong. Weekly's an uptrend. Daily's an uptrend. We weekly bounce off the 8. So for me, I think there's better names to short out there. Better names to short. Adobe. We have earnings in a couple weeks here. Weekly, daily's trying to flip back to the upside. Weekly's in a downtrend. I did mention this potential double bottom forming, so that could be happening. But again, with earnings coming up, I would just probably say wait and see for that. Yo, what up? SMCI and then Cypher. So the daily's in a downtrend here. So daily's in a downtrend, weekly's not looking great, and the monthly's retesting harshly. So again, we would need a pretty strong bounce here to end the month to kind of salvage that monthly chart, right? Cypher, this one's looking good, right? Some big resistance up ahead here on like $7, but above here, we're free up to 11, right? We're free. Guys, again, if you're not already in the Discord, please double tap that screen and like this stream and drop me a follow at the very least. Obviously, I would like to see everybody in here in the Discord. And again, you can put the link in the bio. Use code ZACH. That'll get you access and that'll get you a 30% discount for life to the Discord. And then I can hopefully see you guys there. And again, as I mentioned, guys, in September, I will be back. It's kind of like my 1-year anniversary when I was streaming every day on the socials trading futures. And so I'm going to be focusing a little bit more on futures. I mentioned I've just truthfully just been not trading futures great. So I do want to focus more so on futures. Still have the same swing trading mentality for options, but just a little bit more focus on futures. I had a really, really hot start to the year. About $80,000 of profits withdrawn in the first 3.5 months, and since then I think it's been like 10. So it's been very, very slow for me, kind of like the second portion of this year, and so I want to focus ending the year on a high note, especially for futures. But we're all caught up in chat right now, so let me know if anybody else has any other tickers. And again, I personally use Tradeify and Take Profit. You guys can see it on the screen. Another one that I do like is Alpha Futures, but I always say I personally don't promote anything that I haven't gotten a payout from. And so I've never gotten a payout yet from Alpha, so I don't have any type of affiliate code. But if you are someone that wants to try out Alpha, I do suggest it. I don't have an affiliate for you to use, but they are also pretty solid. Yes, covered Cypher. It's quite literally on the screen right now as well. We did not go over Iron. We did cover Affirm. They have earnings coming in here, but I did not cover Iron. Guys, we're at 3.6K likes on TikTok. Let's even get to 4K likes, guys. Really appreciate that. Let's even get to 4K. So the monthly is about at last month high, really strong. I am looking for expansion here personally, and I think it is possible that we can get to that new all-time high. We do have earnings coming up, but I do think it's possible to get to that new all-time high, right? Maybe it's from earnings, through earnings, I'm not sure, but we really have no levels up until then. So the weekly looks prime. Daily might get that expanded range. So Iron daily ADR expansion can be coming. ER in a few weeks. However, no real levels until previous all-time high. Really good looking chart there in Iron. I've been saying that for a bit. Now we're at 3.6K still, guys. Come on, double tap that screen. Let's go. Weekly downtrend here for now. Daily's also in a downtrend for now. No pun intended. Monthly is bouncing off the monthly 20. This is definitely not one I want to trade, though. I mean, you could short it, I guess, but not my favorite. If I'm going to short something, I want all the time frames to be to the downside, not just a couple. So we've been on though for about 45 minutes, so we've covered a lot of tickers. Let me know if anyone else has any others. Lemonade. Yeah, this is one that I've taken a couple trades on as well. A little bit of nasty topping tail there, so I'll just say above these highs, above like 60 bucks. Above 60 bucks, you can look for longs. Weekly, potentially 1, 2, 3, right? That's what I would say. Any other questions, guys? Any other tickers? Even, any questions about the Discord, maybe about myself, my trading style, anybody have any general trading questions at all, feel free. Let me know in the chats about that. Otherwise, we've covered a lot. Let's see how many tickers we did have. So, again, I like to do a scan Sunday nights, and then I like to do a scan, obviously, Monday when we kind of open up to see movement. But in the chat, we have Iron, Netflix, Tempest, Nebis, DraftKings, BMNR, Shop, SoFi, App, Tesla. So 10 names that I have already that I could deem pretty damn A+. Already covered Meta as well. There one. And again, not just trying to be mean, just for the sake of time, I don't want to cover the same tickers multiple times. Again, all the good analysis, all the A+ setups are in the Discord. Charting section. And I'm sure we'll get more setups tomorrow, as we get more gaps, as we get more data, right? And then looking at this week ahead here, we have a lot of earnings, right? So we have PDD, right? That's going to be the big one for tomorrow. We got, what else we got? I'm looking not too much Tuesday before market open, but then we have OKTA, we have MDB, which is Mongo. Those are two big ones. Then before open on Wednesday, Kohl's, Abercrombie & Fitch, Williams-Sonoma. Those are a couple that I'd be interested in. Tiger as well, Chinese. Then the big ones, of course, come Wednesday with NVIDIA, Snowflake, CrowdStrike, HPQ, Vive, Nutanix, 5, Pure Storage, a lot ones there. Then we got DG, Dollar General, and Best Buy Thursday morning, as well as Victoria's Secret and LI, Dick's. And then Thursday after the bell, Marvel, Dell, Iron. Oh, Iron has earnings this week, didn't realize. Ulta, Sentinel, Affirm, as we mentioned, and then Alibaba on Friday. So we got a lot. So personally, do you trade BMNR? Yeah, I've traded in the past. So my personal take on the market, and again, obviously I could be wrong, I am not expecting that big of a decline in the markets. I'm expecting more of this. I don't necessarily think we're going to start just soaring new all-time highs. And again, I could be wrong. Maybe this range gets tightened up a bit more. But I'm thinking September is going to be a bit more volatile and a little bit more range-bound. And again, I could be wrong. But I don't think we're going to see as big of a downturn as some people think for a couple of reasons. One, we already had a big drop this year. Like, and this is why I don't like talking about, like, you know, again, like history can, you know, rhyme, but it doesn't always have to repeat, right? We entered a bear market this year. We dropped 20% from the all-time high. That's the definition of a bear market. But then we quickly reversed that and made new all-time highs within a couple months, right? But even with that being said, like, yes, from the lows to the highs here, we're up a lot. But on the year, I think we're only up like 8% or 7% year to date. So I don't really think we're going to have too much of a decline. And again, I could obviously be wrong, but I'm personally banking on just like more volatility and more range chop. But that's kind of what I'm thinking. Market going up or down this week? I wish I could tell you. If I knew, I'd be a good gazillionaire. Neg? Yeah, this one's crazy. I don't like touching stuff like this, guys, personally. Like these crazy movers. I just let it kind of simmer. Go over a couple more tickers though before I hop off. And again, guys, for those that want to trade futures, make sure you're using code ZACH on Tradeify and Take Profit Trader. Those are my 1A and 1B favorite futures prop firms. And then again, if you want to join the Discord, if you're not already in there for some reason, use code ZACH for a 30% discount for life. Circle, this is another weak one. You know, again, this has been kind of my weak name. If I'm going to short something, this is kind of it. It already filled that gap. But I'll say basically under like 129.5s down to 122 and then 108. We don't have a ton of data here, but that's what I would do. How much retracement for September? I wish I knew. I already covered COP. Berkshire, I'll do that in a second. S&P finishing 15-20%. It could. It could. Circle, weak name here. My short target, if need, under last week low / 129.5, can short. Targets 123 and 108. And then BRKB and then Zoom. Guys, make sure you double tap that screen, guys. We're still at 4K likes, guys. Just double tap the screen for like 30 seconds and we'll get 4K. Come on, let's go. So we're in a daily uptrend, weekly technically in a downtrend, monthly just bounce off the monthly 20 EMA. So I'd say once the weekly flips back into an uptrend, you can long. Zoom, this is name. Honestly, I think I'm just going to give up on completely. Well, I should say I'll give up on it until the monthly flips. I thought the monthly was going to flip here. I thought the monthly was going to flip here. And so the monthly is trying to flip here. Once I finally get that confirmation signal, that can finally be something then that you know, we can look to long. But it's looking good, but ultimately it needs to still flip. But guys, I think I'm gonna hop off here, guys. I've been on for about 45 minutes. We have a lot of charts posted. Actually been on for probably over 45 minutes considering the other stream as well. I really appreciate everybody who tuned in. What's a good swing for the week? I post all the trades in the Discord one, so again, if you're in there, you'll check them out. If not, you know, I'll post a watch list video later, and hopefully you can kind of do something on your own. But if you want all my trades, it's in the Discord. But again, if you guys want to join the Discord, link is in the bio. Using code ZACH gets you that 30% off. Otherwise, have a good rest of the day. Have a good week,